Hi, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Yacht Crew Vlogs right here on Yachting International Radio. My name is Ria. I am your host, and today I am pleased to welcome back Oscar Siches. How are you, Oscar?
I'm very well, Ria. Nice to be here and see you.
Yeah, well, it's been a while, about a month actually. You're looking a little bit different. You're all cleaned up this time.
Oh yeah, we were able to come out of the caves in Spain about a couple of weeks ago. So one of the very first visits was the hairdresser.
I think a lot of people felt the same way, for sure. Listen, let's just jump right into it. Monaco Yacht Show, it is creating controversy straight across the internet and even just conversations between people. We saw straight through 2020 a lot of yacht shows canceling. Initially it was they were suspending them until a later date, and then eventually each and every single one of them gradually started canceling them for 2020. Now, Monaco Yacht Show decided rather than cancel, they were going to go ahead, but they were going to do so under a different format. A lot of people are questioning that decision. And of course, knowing that you have a very strong opinion on many things and aren't afraid to speak your opinion, I wanted to get your take on it. So what are your thoughts on Monaco Yacht Show going ahead in 2020?
Okay. Monaco Yacht Show is no doubt probably the most, I would not say important, but known show in the whole world. You see, it is the most incredible show, not only because it's in Monaco, it's because how the show was created, the aim, which is not what the show is now. Monaco Yacht Show started by a company in Monaco, and the main reason of the show was actually to show boats and make a marketing move, right? Monaco Yacht Show today, it's one of the biggest PR exercises I know. And it works that way because it's enough people to go. I mean, the proof is that there are no more stands to be rented for the show. The whole of Monaco and nearby France is actually circulating and doing everything in the function of the show, affected by the show. So there's no doubt of their importance in the marine industry on the whole. They are enormous, they are important, they are a reference. A lot of times things are being quoted as, look, I would like to do this like Monaco, or I would like to be like Monaco. And that gives you an idea. People think of Monaco at the very best. If I remember well, in the last years of Luc Fetavino, who was a real maker of Monaco Yacht Show, he was a director. I think they have titled or qualified the show as the real superlative of things. It became the superlative, it kept on going, but again, more than a boat show where boats are there to be shown for charter or to be shown for selling, it's a huge PR where people enjoy going, and where, let's say, the ones exhibiting at the show also play just to show the very best and see how far you can go. Tell you one little detail, for instance. When the Yacht Show de Monaco was at the old site, that they were there since '53, the Monaco Yacht Show was around there. I mean, they were there, the partners, the members were there, no problem at all. When the Yacht Show de Monaco moved in 2014 to the new building, there was a lot more space to run conferences, parties, extra, let's say, side exhibits of things. And the very first year, it was sort of a timid starting of making parties at the show. I remember Marina di Stabia. I was giving them a hand, and we made a party, and we managed to put 70 or 75 people in one of the terraces, and we're very happy with that. That party afterwards became the James Bond party. The James Bond party is one of the most sought after parties of the show. Why? Because it's one of those parties that qualifies who's who. I mean, if you can get to that party, you are someone. And if not, you are another league. This, what I'm saying, which is absolutely pragmatic and true, is just to show how things have changed in what the show is and what the show means. Now, Monaco Yacht Show 2020, yes or no? We are having, and we still have, a very, like the Italians say, un anno particolare, a very particular year, right? With, just closing of flights, closing of traveling, boats not being able to be used, closing down the whole world. That in 3 months after start opening, you can run a show like that. Please everybody, both exhibitors and people that go to the show, I don't believe in that. It is too close, the show is still there. We actually, 4 months away from September, we don't know who's going to be flying to Nice or not. And Monaco Yacht Show, it is a truly international, global show because it's important all over the world, and people take a lot of trouble just to fly over from anywhere, pay the incredible prices of the hotels around and so on, and be the 2 or 3 days there. So I find that, let's say, the whole human infrastructure there, counting what we depend from, how do we feel, and so on, is not there for this year Monaco show. On the other side, this year, and now I'm seeing that more and more and more, lots of companies have taken this forced stop to say, this is the moment to start thinking again how we go forward. I mean, when you are carrying on and you are just going non-stop, and suddenly you like going non-stop, but then you realize that you cannot stop on what you are doing, on the production, on the sales, on the marketing, and then suddenly someone comes with a stick and says, stop, everybody in, shut the doors and so on, and in 3 or 4 months we'll see how we restart again. That is more than a problem. That is a unique opportunity that a lot of people are starting to realize that they can take. And in that unique opportunity, the expense, the move, the way, not waste of time, the use of time and preparation that the Monaco show demands is not part of it.
What is the difference between the Monaco Yacht Show, for example, and other shows like Dusseldorf or Fort Lauderdale? Is there a big difference in your mind?
Oh yeah, it is a huge difference. I said Monaco Yacht Show is a global show, no doubt about it. Today, and after what's happening, I think we have to forget about global anything, because we just, first of all, we cannot move. So we are just missing one of the characteristics where we were used to, and we do not know. Governments keep on promising that air travel will be there in a month or so. They are opening, but just before our chat, I was just checking Nice airport news. So Nice is now flying to something like 10 cities, right? And but all they say, look, we are doing this traveling, but everything is conditional to any possible adjustment on travel restrictions. That means you go to the airport, you don't know even if you just bought the plane, much less if you come out of the plane, and much less if coming out of the plane you will end up where you want to go, in the office or in the house or in the hotel or wherever. Now, it's too random possibility of achieving what you want to achieve. We cannot.
Well, do you think going forward that this is going to have an impact on yacht shows? I mean, we've seen every single year there are consistently more and more shows being added, and it's almost like the market is getting oversaturated with the amount of boat shows that are out there. And when you're looking at yachting companies, the costs that are associated not only with the exhibiting, but as well with the transport, as well with where they stay and how they get there. Do you think we're going to see a change in 2021 when it comes to the amount of yacht shows, or at least the amount of people participating in those yacht shows?
People will definitely be selective, very selective, and they will think twice before deciding if they go to shows where they have to be because they have to be seen, or they go to shows where they are going to get a return back for sure. Now, let me just go one step back of what we were talking before. Fort Lauderdale, Düsseldorf, those are shows, and I insist that we have to just forget the globalization part of it. Fort Lauderdale can survive just with the States. 310 million people, 320 million people now. They fly in, they are on the show. They are not going to be as big as when all the rest of the nationalities went in, but they are going to survive without any problem. Same as Düsseldorf. Düsseldorf are part of the Germans, let's say, but they are in a core there of an amount of 450 or 500 million people within 150 kilometers of the show. So they're going to happen. They can survive. That's no doubt about it. But we have to forget about Southampton. Southampton, the Brits are going to make Southampton survive if it's necessary. They will get 3/4 of the people they got last year, maybe, but they can go forward. But other shows which are not, they don't have the stamp of what they really. They don't have that show personality that qualifies the show. They might not.
So do you think the market is definitely going to change then?
Yes.
And in which way?
People will be more careful at the time of spending money because there will be no money. As easy as that. I mean, all this production stop and amortization of tools and of properties and personnel and all these things will leave a trace that is not going to go in 3 or 4 months. It will take years, 2-3 years easily to go. So when you have, on your budget for marketing, then suddenly you see that half of the budget is not there, then you start being more careful and selective and just picking what is has a guaranteed return.
Well, see, some of the people that are for Monaco Yacht Show going ahead, the one thing that they do raise is, the yacht shows tend to be a place where the industry connects. The industry is worldwide, so people are, in the Caribbean or in Fort Lauderdale or in Monaco or in France or in Spain. And the yacht shows are the place where I guess a lot of networking goes on. And we saw sort of a scramble within the yachting industry to have all sorts of yacht shows online. But they were missing that human element. So do you think that is something that will continue to draw people back to the yacht shows, is the fact that they do want to do that networking between businesses?
Yes, it will. It will. That will not disappear. The thing is that will change priority levels from last year to the next few years until things start getting balanced again.
Well, there was a mention in social media and across the board. It actually hit a lot of places. Somebody was suggesting that perhaps Monaco Yacht Show next year should have two shows, one for 45 meter and under in April, and then another for 45 meter and above in the traditional time at the end of September. What do you think of that idea?
That was Martin Redmayne, and I read it, and I was quite amazed about that, because what Monaco, I don't think, needs now is another show at the beginning of the year, just before the Monaco Grand Prix. I mean, the people of Monaco, they are used to have 3/4 of Monaco closed for some reason, no street, no parkings, everything packed up just because of the shows, and they leave from those shows. Fine. But there is a limit that I think they are very close to, or that they have reached, that says the advantage of a show or an extra show, or the need of an extra show, is going to keep on affecting very negatively the other part, which is Monaco and the Monegasque people. They do have the right to have a city which is more or less normal now and then. That is the first thing. The second thing is that not everybody can afford the cost of what means having a show at Monaco. And those people need shows which are more down to earth on pricing. Again, we go and try to find the balance, and Monaco cannot give them that. They cannot give them that at all. And the third thing is, every single show has its own personality, as I said before. So you just don't go and plant a show here or there and make it work. It's a work of years. Look at Cannes. Cannes took like 4 or 5 years to start getting out and then established itself, and it was going fine. Look at Antibes. They were doing a show, started shrinking, it was not convincing, and disappeared. So the fact that you can just go and plant a show is absolutely no guarantee that the show will work. And when you plant a show, it's like, I'm busy always with marinas and so on. It's the same thing when we ask, okay, can you design me the marina and the marina that works? And then comes the thing, something like Monaco. And I said, okay, I'm not your person, because Monaco can happen in Monaco with the 750, 800 years of Monaco, with the kind of people that goes to Monaco, with the fame Monaco made of itself and the Grimaldi family. And you cannot just copy paste that somewhere else. Every place, every show, every event has a public that is the special public for that will be taking profit of that, and that need that kind of level to keep on going and make the event successful.
Well, Monaco Yacht Show said that this year they're taking the format from what they have done in the past, and they're making it more of a not-for-profit scenario. But when you do the research to find out exactly how they're going about that, it's very difficult to get any details. Do you have any insight into that?
Not at all, but I doubt that can be done. For me, if they go that way, should be because they are drastically changing the whole future of the Monaco Yacht Show. Again, saying we have this year where all these things with the virus happen, so we are taking profit of this just to make a big change and go slightly different, or definitely different, in the next years. But a one-off like that, I've never seen it work.
In your opinion, do you think the cost that people have to shoulder, for example, to exhibit in yacht shows, do you think those costs make sense, or are they too high? Look,
people in our industry are not stupid. People in our industry have a hell of a lot of experience. And if they decide to put that money there, it's because that money has a value, because if not, they will just disappear from there. and they know. I mean, there's still a waiting list just to get into Monaco. So Monaco gives a lot of people what they are looking for, a lot of them. And when you say, oh, it's not, I don't see that, you know, Monaco is just taking the thing and packing the money, putting it in their fat pockets and just being richer every day. To set up Monaco Yacht Show cost a fortune. A fortune. As I say, you have to modify traffic, you have to dedicate space, you have to mount an impressive amount of logistics. That takes money, and that has to be paid for. And of course, there is a profit on the thing. It is a company. And Informa paid another fortune just to be owing that company that makes the Monaco Yacht Show. So.
Right. Well, I mean, it'll be interesting to see what happens and how it comes out. And, you know, the details, as I said, it's very difficult to find any details online. And of course, we're going to continue to sort of search that up and interview a few different people throughout the next few weeks and see what the industry's take is on it all. You did make a comment the other day on LinkedIn in regards to high heels. What was that comment about?
In regard to?
In regards to heels, high heels, and how they pertained to.
Oh, that was. I mean, last year I went to Monaco and I was just walking one day around the show, and then suddenly, I mean, of course, Monaco is the biggest possible exhibit on earth, and is of extremes, no doubt about it. But human being likes extremes, likes to watch the thing, look at the thing. So you have the big yachts, you have the enormous stands, you have the Bentleys and the Rolls, just to move people around. That takes 3 hours to get to Nice because there is no way of going through the streets. But that's another story. And then you have the carpeted piers all over, and you have the ladies, right? And when you go down, then you have the high heels. And then I thought, gee, you know, I will make a comment or an article where the high heels are the things that give me how incredible the show was this year or not. That would be the height of the high heels of the ladies going around. Ladies going around and being incredibly gracious to walk with those high heels in the rough piers of most of the harbor. I mean, it was a spectacle. A spectacle. It was a spectacle of elegance, of grace. I mean, it was fantastic. So I wrote that piece, but I didn't publish it anywhere. I just circulated among some friends.
Right. Well, it was definitely an interesting comment, and I think sometimes, you know, aside from the whole boat show issue, I think sometimes a lot of people look at things like the Monaco Yacht Show and Fort Lauderdale Yacht Show in the fact that they are still objectifying women to a certain degree, as they did back in the 70s. And it'll be interesting to see how that changes over coming time as well.
We don't have to demonize shows for anything that is not to be demonized, right? Because we are human beings. We are too stupid on that too. When we have no more interesting news to give, or no more whatever projects that we can build something with, then we go like, you know, sneaking the high heels and this or that. We should stop with that, right? Same as, look, I just want to add a couple of things here. Siches and Mila, they said we are not going to the Monaco Yacht Show. And so what? And so what? It is their decision. They talked about it. They decided they don't go to the boat show. If the boat show is made, the boat show will be made and there will be people attending. Because what will be missing is the PR of Siches and Mila. No less business is going to be made. The same business is going to be made, because all this business for both of them they are made in offices all over the world and not at the Monaco Yacht Show. The Monaco Yacht Show, again, is a beautiful excuse to go and mingle and network and see people, but not really to make business and make money on that spot and sign contracts. So when they decide to be a part, it's totally respectful what they do, and I understand them because probably I would have done the same, but no big deal. Huh?
I mean, it does come down to the fact that, you know, if they are major sponsors, there's a lot of money that is lost through that sponsorship not being part of it.
Okay, you have a fantastic management of a Monaco Yacht Show to handle those things too.
Right.
That's why people hire you to be a manager. Normally, it's not just to go and smile and drink champagne when things go well. It's just to prove that you're good when things go not so well. So now is the time of the managers just to show how good they are and handle that situation.
Well, it's going to be interesting, as I said before, and I guess we'll see in September exactly what happens and how they've made it work at a more scaled down. I think that's the one thing that a lot of people are wondering is how they're going to manage to make it work with social distancing and not just logistics of, you know, whether or not people from other countries can arrive, but as well the nature of yacht shows is the networking, and the nature of yacht shows is greeting people and being together and sharing ideas. And, you know, social distancing definitely will throw a little bit of a wrinkle into those plans.
Absolutely. Again, Ria, a lot of people will be thinking that they better save this money this year and work it out just to be able to make a good comeback next year than just to go and make the expense, which it is in Monaco Yacht Show. It is Monaco. They're going to meet people, no doubt about it. But the whole situation is not going to be a normal Monaco Yacht Show because everybody will be, at least with half a brain, will be thinking about what is still happening and, you know, about the flights and about the people and about if the virus is going to come back and about the kids at home and where to go on holiday. It's not going to be a normal Monaco Yacht Show, but it can be.
Well, I mean, I've never been to the Monaco Yacht Show, but I have seen pictures, and I mean, I've been to the Palma Yacht Show, and I mean, when people go to these yacht shows, you're crammed in like sardines, and that's part of the excitement. That's part of what's great about these yacht shows is that it's just exciting. It's, you know, it's like a festival of sorts, and the parties and everything else that goes along with it. So that's definitely going to be missing. It'll be interesting to see how that plays out for sure. And will you attend this year if it goes ahead?
No.
Okay. Well,
No.
it would be interesting to have somebody who does attend come on board and let us know sort of what it was like compared to other years, because yeah, it's
absolutely. The thing is, with this paper I made, this little paper I made last year, I realized also that high heel heights vary every 2 years, a substantial amount of millimeters. So there's no point of going every year just to see how high they are or not.
Well, Oscar, you know what? As always, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on board and having your straight talk, as it were. You're never worried about speaking your mind, and I do appreciate that.
I'm glad you still enjoyed to interview me. I always think that maybe that is the last time forever, but I think I survived this one again. Thanks very much for giving me some wings to get out and reach the industry.
Anytime, Oscar. You're more than welcome back anytime you would like.
Okay, great.
Thank you once again. You've been listening to Oscar Siches on the state of the industry in NYS 2020. This has been another edition of Yacht Crew Vlogs right here on Yachting International Radio. My name is Ria. I have been your host. Please tune in again for the next episode.